Hello there, I'm the student and this is another video on my channel, and today it's going to be a very short video, I imagine, because I just want to talk about a government reform, and this is the Tier 2 government reform, Noble Privileges, because I see a lot of players and also a lot of EU4 YouTubers that recommend to always go for Stregthen Noble Privileges, which is basically the worst thing you could ever do in this thing, because for a few reasons that I'm going to just lay out to you in this video. And I'm going to start with the crown land and the influence modifiers. And as you can see, I'm in as France because as you can see, France's nobles have a lot of influence. And as probably a lot of people know, high influence means that if you conquer land, that you actually lose crown land to that estate that has such a high influence. For example, in this case, the nobility. That means obviously that if you had a lower influence for the estates, such as of the bourgeoisie over here, then you would gain crown land via conquest for that estate, obviously. So in my case, I would be losing crown land to the nobility, and I would gain crown land from bourgeoisie and clergy. And obviously, the more influence they have, the worse it gets, actually. So this privilege over here, Strengthen Noble Privileges, as the name says, it strengthens the nobility with exactly 10% nobility influence, and it gives no loyalty. The only other bonus that it gives is 10% national manpower modifier. It was 15% in the previous patch, but now it got nerfed to 10% actually. And this means that the nobility, which is in this case France, but actually in all of the European monarchies, has a really high influence from the start of the game. They're going to have even higher influence than that. And all of that for just 10% manpower. But you would ask, what is the alternative? Take tax or something? Actually, this would be an alternative if your nobility gets really strong, but no, the real alternative is this little thing over here, which says compromise with the nobility. And as you see over there, the modifiers are quite nice actually. Step cost minus 15% yearly legitimacy, and it gives the government mechanic that the increased levies estate privilege for the nobility no longer increases influence and no longer decreases max absolutism. So instead of just gifting the nobility another 10% more influence for just 10% national manpower modifier, you can just instead go for this privilege. And then obviously take the nobility privilege, which is called, increased levies over here, which gives, based on how much crown land they own, in this case almost 50%, it gives national manpower modifier. And as you can see, it gives half of the crown land of manpower, which means that at almost 50% it gives almost 25% national manpower modifier. And as you can see over here, because I have the government reform over here, this privilege gets also minus 10% nobility influence, which exactly negates this plus 10% over here, and it gives plus 5 absolutism, which exactly negates this minus 5 absolutism over here. And on top of that, it gives actually 10% loyalty for the estate, which is basically loyalty for free. And in this current patch, as you can see, the loyalty bonuses of the monopolies and so on are really nerfed dramatically, which means that this 10% loyalty for zero, literally zero influence, is basically the best thing you can ever do. And on top of that, it gives 15% more national manpower than this one, with 10% less nobility influence. Please, if someone can tell me why the hell would you take this privilege if you can take just this, get those two bonuses on top of that, get 15% more manpower and 10% less influence, and all of that also for 10% loyalty that is literally free. It doesn't even cost absolutism. I don't think that anyone can explain why this privilege should be a good idea, because it's just a logical consequence that this privilege is way better than this privilege, because this privilege has actually no downside, literally no downside, except for one little thing, that it takes a privilege slot over here, which yeah, you normally wouldn't even need for the nobility, because if you take 6 privileges, you're going to die from the nobility taking over your land. So yeah, this is basically not a negative point. It's just literally for free. And if you think that this is only so strong because of France, yes, it is. That's why I chose France, because France has 50% crown and to the nobility. But if you have a look, for example, to Bohemia over here, you'll notice that the nobility over there has also 36%, which gives the increased levies also 18% national manpower modifier for, yeah, instead of 10% basically. And as I said, if you take this privilege, instead of costing you something, it is even giving you another 10% loyalty that you would otherwise not get over here. We can do another one, take Brandenburg for example. If you have a look on them, they have only 32%, but even at only 32%, it gets 6% more national manpower than this privilege over here, while, as I said, costing you nothing.